Hello, my Chin friend. So let's continue our introduction to Guqin classics, and this is part 2. Last time we introduced that for the playing of this piece, Guanshanyue, Moon over the Mountain Pass, the 7 strings of Qin corresponding to 直语、宫、商、角、直语. Right, so these 7 relative tones correspond to the sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la to Western music. So these are the relative tone, and of course each sound also has a absolute frequency. And and so far, I want just to introduce the gong string. The gong string is the 3rd string, which is corresponding to do, the tonal note, which is the main note, the note carry the most weight in the scale, and that is 中律. So, and that 中律 correspond to F in Western music. So sometimes people also call this tuning F major scale. Of course, that is a Western term, and I prefer to call it 中律调 or the 中律 key or the 中律 mode, 中律调. So this tuning, for which the 7 strings tuned, when you hear it, you will naturally correspond it to sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la, 直语, gong, shang, jue, 直语. And when the gong is on the 中律 note, we call it a 中律均. So this tuning is a 中律均. Guqin, different from other Western instruments, for example, violin, the tuning is always G, D, A, E. But for Guqin, the 7th string, you can tune them differently. So their relative height are different. So that's why we need to name each tuning. And this tuning, I call it 中律均 because the gong note is on 中律. So today, most Guqin player would tune the 1st string in 黄中. So of course, when it is tuned as a 中律均, you can play 中律调. That is, you use the 中律 tuning to play the 中律key or 中律 mode, the 宫 on 中律. And in that case, the 7th string is 直语, 宫, shang, jue, 直语. But of course, you can also use 中律均, 中律 tuning to play a different key or different mode. And for example, you can play 黄中调. So you use the 1st string as the 宫 string, 宫, and in that case, the 7th string correspond to 宫, shang, and 清绝. And in this case, this is no longer 绝, it's 清绝. It's just a half step higher than 绝. And then the 4th string is 直, and then 5th string is 语, and then the 6th string is 宫 again, and then the 7th string is shang. So in that case, if you play the 黄中调 on 中律均, then the 7th string became 宫, shang, 清绝, 直, 语, 宫, shang, which correspond to Western terminology as do, re, fa, sol, la, do, re, instead of sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la, which is 中律调. So Guanshanyue is playing using the 中律均 tuning and playing 中律调, which is the easiest because all the 7 strings correspond to a main note in the pentatonic scale or in the 宫商角徵羽. So all of them are 宫商角徵羽. All right, so now 关山月. It is based on a Tang Dynasty poem by the famous poet Li Bai, and so it can be sung, but I treat it as a pure instrumental music, and most player would play the piece 2 times, and the second time played exactly as the first time. But when I play this piece, I also repeat, but the second time I play a variation. So the second time I play the same melody, I add a lot of different fingering and different notes. So it sounds very different. So the first, the whole piece can be divided into sentences, and each sentence can be divided into 2 phrases, and so we will progress in that fashion. So the first sentence start with the 指. So this one is a 宫调, so it's a 宫 mode. In another word, 宫 or do is the most important note, so it's a key note. But the music start with the 指. In Western terminology, we start with the dominant instead of the tonal, right? So this is the first sentence. So the opening phrase, 3 open string, go, 1, 2, 3. So these 3 notes should be played from strong to soft, right? How to do it? So in my opinion, the dynamics of Guqin music should be achieved through fingering. So instead of trying to push the string to get a strong sound, I prefer to use a movement. So to get a stronger sound, the first string, I raise my middle finger the highest. And in that case, you got a very strong sound. And then the second string, I only half raise my middle finger to do the go. So it's softer. And then for the third string, the gong note, I do not raise my middle finger, and I got a very soft sound. Right? So the dynamic should, to my opinion, should be achieved through the movement. When you want a very strong sound, you should raise your finger the highest. So when you get to the string, your finger gets to the string, it has a high speed, and it strike the string most powerfully. And when you want a soft sound, you do not raise your finger, you just touch the string to get that sound, and you get a very soft sound. Right? So again, so la do, 止与宫. All right. So the next one is the gong on an octave above. So this one should be relatively stronger than the third one. So we start with a very strong 止 and goes to a softer 语, and then a very soft 宫, but then the next 宫 should be more powerful, and it is also on the beat, right? Next is yan. So this yan, you need to keep your thumb on the board, right? So that the vibration continues. So some people do yan this way, And that's wrong, because as soon as you raise your thumb, the string stopped vibrating on the ninth hui note, right? So next, 拨. So 拨, keep your 3 fingers on the 6th string and pluck 6 and 7 string together. You got this harmony of pure octaves. So this should be a very loud sound. Right, so that 轮指, that 轮, so I give rhythm to that 轮指. Instead of do a triplet, like I give them rhythm. So the first sound, the zhai is last longer, and the middle finger T is very short, and then the kiao, right? So now the harmony, according to the old Guqin manuals, the harmonics, your fingering should be like the dragonfly touching the water surface, or a butterfly on a flower petal. So it should be light, right? And in this case, when you do this tiao 4, you need to retain your finger on the first string. Why? Because the next is 大撮, which is the first string and the 6th string. So when you retain your finger on the first string, you save a movement, so you save energy, and your playing can be efficient, right? And notice the change of my elbow. So I raise my elbow higher, because the 大撮, I use thumb. When you use the thumb, if you do not raise the elbow, your thumb is in an oblique position with the string, and you don't get a full sound. So when you raise your elbow, and your finger can be perpendicular to 90 degree to the string, and that way you hit the string most powerfully. So whenever you use the thumb to pluck the string, the angle of your arm to your body should be bigger. It should be a little, roughly 60 degrees, while the natural playing position here, it's like 20 degree or 30 degree at most, but when you use thumb, it should be at least 60 degree. Raise your elbow. I see this dramatic movement here. Right, so there is a sudden change of the arm position. So retaining finger save you movement and energy, and in the future I'm going to simplify it as R1T4, right? So retaining your finger on the first string, and the tiao, T represent the tiao fourth string, because your next playing, your next fingering has something to do with the first finger, go first finger, right? In this case, the go in 大撮. So that's why we have R1T4. Right? So next sentence. So same string, same thing, right? So when you do the 大搓, your elbow should be raised. So here, there is the 掐起 or 掏起. So use your ring finger, left hand ring finger to stop the string, but use the same hand, left hand thumb to pick up the string to strike the string. So this is one of the few fingerings using left hand to strike the string, to attack the string. So in this case, the next one is 大搓 1/6. So here, when you do the 掏起, you should use the joint of your ring finger to press the string on the board so that the tip of your ring finger is already hovering above the 6th string, so that when you were ready to do the 1/6 大搓, you just curve your ring finger and press the 6th string on the board, right? So use the ring finger straight to curve to make the transition from, between the two neighboring strings, and you save your hand moving. You do not move your hand. A lot of people play it this way. So you see there's a break in between these two sounds, because when you use the fingertip to do the 掏起 and use the same fingertip to do the 大搓, your hand needs to move. And my method does not require movement of hand, and thus is more efficient and avoided, a breaking in the melody, right? So the sound does not stop it continuously. There's no gap in the two sounds. Next sentence. All harmonics, right? Next. So this sentence use also a lot of harmonics, and it also has the 分开, right? So this one, the left hand going up and down, and the right hand going in and out. This is called the 分开. This is a combination of fingering, which was used a lot. So this is the 分开, right? Or you can use middle finger. And in this case, it's 搓. Right? So move down to the 7th 回 and going 退复, which is down and back. "掏起 again, use the joint. Yeah. And now 抓起, use the left hand thumb to pick up the string to make an open string sound. And this 轮 I use the equal distance for the 3 sound. Right, next. Right, so here, we talk about, I introduced using the ring finger to make transition between 2 strings. Now I'm going to introduce using the thumb to make transition between 2 neighboring strings. So here on the 7th string, I use the joint of my thumb, which is called the 肉音, the flesh sound instead of versus the nail sound. Nail is harder, So when you use the nail to press the string, you got a brighter sound. When you use the flash to press the string, you got a softer and deeper sound, right? So use the joint to press 7th string. And then now go 6th. Now I use nail and I curve my thumb to press with nail. And when I press with flash, my thumb is straight. Same thing. Right? So this way, you again avoided the gap. You when you use transition between joint and nail, you do not need to move your hand from one string to another, and in this case, the sound is unbroken. Right? So that sound should be softer because here the lyrics get a little bit sad, right? So it should be soft. If you play, so you are not in the mood, not in the right mood, right? So now next sentence. Right, so here we use a lot of ring finger making transition between two neighboring strings. First, between 4th string and 3rd string, and then between 3rd string and 2nd string, and between 2nd string and 1st string. Watch. Now here I use my middle finger. That's a convention usually for the 1st string, and for those lower notes you use middle finger instead of use your ring finger. Now it's the coda. It repeats the opening sentence, pretty much like the opening sentence, but you slow down a little to give it a sense of getting to the end. So when we repeat, you go up and start the first sentence again. Now, when you repeat, I do the equal distance 轮指, so it's different. The first time I do it, and then when I repeat the first sentence, I play it in a different rhythm. Okay, second sentence, the variation is I add a few more notes to make the melody richer. Right? So first time it was, and when we repeat, we play it. Same. Now this one, so this one I added more 进复. That is going higher and back. So here, the first time it was just. Now the second time when I play this part, I added more notes. So so this time, the first time I used Q 6, 5, and Go 4. But the second time I play Go 6, and then R4, T7, right? R4, T7. So this time I go from low to go up to that note instead of, this is first time, but the second time, this part is the same. Now, bring to the end, slow down. All right, so in general, the second time is more agitated, more kind of stronger feeling put into the music. In general, it's faster than the first time and the sound is richer, and then get to the end, you slow down dramatically to bring the music to an end, right? So, all right, so this is our first introduction to Guqin classics. We use the Guanshanyue as an example, a short piece. This is also, helped me to kind of test my, the technology. And so next time, we can talk more about the artistic issue. And this time it is kind of mostly the technical points that you need to pay extra attention to get this piece well done, right? Thank you very much, and please subscribe, please thumb up, and feel free to forward to other website and other channel. And I appreciate your support. Thank you.